of the Rampage series Season 5, exclamation mark. They got their exclamation marks handed to them on a platter. I don't know where I'm going with this, but Adriot, they were playing very well with some solid lanes. An exclamation mark could not catch back up. So, will they come back and gain number 2, or will they drop down to the feared best of ones in the first couple of lower bracket rounds? We shall find out. Swordfish, your thoughts on that last game?
Well, that was I mean, your analysis is on point. They definitely lost lanes. I think exclamation mark had a couple execution errors. I mentioned a couple times in the game that they seemed unable to deal with that Wraith King, but properly. You know, they just didn't know really how to play against him. Well, Jesus, scary again, right? I find that as well. The Dooms by well started out being quite nice because it's a really good positioning and his early PKB was on point, but they didn't really quite know what to do with the Doom. Like they doomed something and they went, okay, what now? Like, okay, guys, where's the damage? It wasn't there. I think overall it was much better played by Adriot. Their positioning was much better as well. The fact that Alina lost the lane considerably against an Ember is also to put into question. So I think the execution for exclamation mark could have been a bit better there. Their draft was definitely harder to execute, and it showed. But Adriot played that considerably better. They also knew how to use the Wraith King very, very well, and that should be commended for them.
Yeah, so no surprise then that they picked that up again immediately. This time together with the Bane though, rather than the Undying. So they once again see the same opener for exclamation mark too, the Doom. I mean, that was the one here that actually worked out for them. Part of that was the Midas, of course, so bit of an old school build. We don't always see that, but of course it accelerates your to high heavens between that and the Devour. So I don't know, where do you see exclamation mark go with this now? Do you want more stuns, just more push, more defensive utility, more safer farming heroes?
It's actually quite difficult to determine just with a single pick. Seeing the Wraith King, like, are you gonna go for the Morphling in with your theoretical counter? I like the Shadow Shaman. I think the Shadow Shaman's a pretty good idea. You definitely needed a bit more cash to deal with the Wraith King. I find heroes like Shadow Shaman to be quite useful, but also things like Jakiro, for example. I really like a Jakiro against the Wraith King. Taking away the attack speed is a great way to stop the Wraith King from dealing damage. You can also stop him with the Ice Bath, and it's a great and super easy setup, by the way, after the reincarnation. So there is that. I actually would really like to see the Jakiro. I'm a big fan of the Jakiro.
Yeah. Hey, me too.
5 seconds
remaining.
In case
Really?
you didn't know. Yeah, I'm
No,
a bit of a
I never
Jakiro
knew.
fan myself.
Really?
It's
You
a
really should
well-kept
put,
secret of mine, yeah.
You should put an icon like on your Twitter or something. Like,
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
show
maybe you
that.
should. Maybe you should.
That's a good idea. Well, I love that hero actually. I find that the hero right now is in a very good spot because he fulfills a role that's kind of rare in supports, which is just kind of a jack of all trades support.
Yeah.
He deals the damage in lane. He's a really good laner, right? So that's always a strong point. He's hard to kill as well, like for being an intelligence hero, and he also brings a stun to the table plus a bit of disable-ish. So very useful.
It all hinges on positioning for him throughout the entire game. Like,
Yep.
he's hard to kill, but the moment he's out of position, he's so slow and sluggish that he can't really get back into position, as it were. So, at that point, it can actually get a lot easier to kill him off. And the same is true throughout the rest of the game. Like, if he gets caught, he normally ends up dying rather quickly. So you want to stay on fringes of the team fight and continuously throw in spells, which are very low cooldown. So that is very helpful indeed. But yeah, I'm also happy that the Jakiro gets a lot more play. We'll see if these SEA teams have caught a win over that as well.
They banned the AM.
Okay.
I wonder if they're gonna ban PL as well. Just afraid of heroes that like can drain your mana there. It seems a bit basic. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think you would pick AM against the Wraith King anymore. Well, actually, Counterspell's pretty strong against Wraith King nowadays.
Yeah. They're better in the last game
know.
as well, so it's...
I think the
same
notion
kind of
that
idea.
mana drain beats the Wraith King nowadays is a bit outdated. It's not really why you play him necessarily. Like reincarnation's great, obviously, but
yeah,
you can always go for a Soul Ring and stuff like that. And
5 seconds
it's not
remaining.
the easiest thing to do. I still think exclamation mark if they really do want to counter Wraith King though. PL obviously is still in the pool. You could go for some people are starting to play the Naga Siren, also a good idea. With a Diffusal Blade build,
Oh, yeah.
really good against low armor heroes like Wraith King, and she does have a high armor herself, so she's good at tanking the crits. But those are a bit unorthodox, definitely not meta. None of the meta carries really deal well with the Wraith King,
Yeah.
except for Lifesteal.
Well, that one's not gonna come in either, as it turns out. Adriot recognizing that too, as they now head into the second pick phase. Maybe they want to get something else with the Bane. wouldn't hate to just see Mirana, just because why not? You know, just a bit of a throwback to
10
the old
seconds
days, even though it's not a
remaining.
particularly popular hero these days.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely not a particularly popular. We still see her a bit in the mid lane, and FCA does play her a bit, so it's not the craziest pick. I wouldn't
Radiant
mind that.
team pick.
And the pick for now is ooh, Monkey King, so that's actually not a bad Mirana game now that you see the Monkey King.
It gives a lot of information to Exclamation Mark, though. I mean, that's yet another another melee hero that wants to get in your face. So again, the same kind of idea that they had in the last game. So you would think the Exclamation Mark would be able to figure out something that's a little bit better suited to try and deal
10
with that.
seconds remaining.
They banned the Drow though, and the Razor's been banned by Adriot, unfortunately. Like these are the better
seconds
heroes that deal with them that are in meta. And other heroes that deal well with melee
Dire
Mirana
team
comes to
pick.
mind, Lina for example as well. Banner is
Dota
actually a really
works,
good
yeah.
pickup. Very strong in Wraith King in lane, very strong against Monkey King in lane if needed. Because lifesteal for Monkey King is just not good enough to deal with Banner's damage. And the only issue with Butler is he doesn't have a way to cancel the Fiend Script easily, so that can be annoying. And Nightmare can be very annoying, but it's still pretty good. You have a Shadow Shaman as well to help you out. Doom will then, I'm assuming, go support, so you have an Infernal Blade as well. Constantly annoying the Bane.
The Ebba, though, comes out, so there's your counter to the Bad Rider. Even in lane, just dispelling that napalm spam. Very useful to have something like that. Later down the line also works wonders up against the lasso. So another hero that would do a similar job, at least later
10
down the line
seconds.
of the game, would be Nyx Assassin, which has also been super popular. Works well with the Bane, just having a setup for the Impale, but they go for the more defensive hero instead, as that PL that you were talking about does come out for Exclamation Mark.
Yeah, so the PL pick is actually looking quite good. You have Droit makes, I don't know, the mistake or makes the blunder of going for a support that has no catch, and Bane's catch is overrated. Honestly, he
10 seconds
doesn't
remaining.
really do well. Only a single Nightmare. You don't actually have a way to stopping someone at the Fiend's Grip.
5
So
seconds
the Phantom Lancer is a
remaining.
naturally good pickup. It's really hard to actually stop him. He's able to evade most of the stunts here, mainly the Wraith King's Hellfire Blast and the Monkey King's, what is it, Boundless Strike. And with those two being evaded, then you're kind of relying on Bane to catch a Nightmare to actually be able to stop the Phantom Lancer, which is a bit difficult. So
Radiant team back.
Exclamation Mark goes for a decent pick here. You can play quite defensively here with the Phantom Lancer. It's similar to last game, except this time you have a much harder hero to kill, I would argue.
Yep.
And he also gets online a bit sooner. He's a faster farmer. He has the extra agility, which is fantastic against Wraith King because you can man fight him with the extra armor. It's a really good pick. I like Exclamation Mark's draft right now, actually. Again, I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just
10
going to go with these guys like a second time. I'm going to lose a second time, so I feel a bit.
5
Well, they
seconds
certainly fix some of these
remaining.
issues, right? I mean, Shadow Shaman also, as a support, seems a lot better than Rubik in these situations, just because he does have a lot more control, a lot more nuking power as well early on, so he can actually fight heroes, even like heroes like Bane, who have the brain sap and whatnot to really help them out. But Shadow Shaman just has enough damage in the first couple of levels to overwhelm that very easily.
Those snakes are pretty huge as well against
That as well, yeah.
melee heroes, right? Like not only the damage, I mean, like just they block the path. They essentially create a zone out. It's very similar to how Shakira plays. That we were talking about. Like it creates a zone out where you don't really know what area to play in the team fight, and it kind of messes up with your positioning a bit. What would the last pick? So they need a mid laner here for Exclamation Mark. You don't get last pick. You're assuming probably Monkey King is going in the mid lane.
It could, yeah. But they could
I think
also
the Lina
just
here. Like it's actually a really legitimate pick. The Venom Answer was the best pick though. That was a really good call, Ben. Very unusual, but very good against melee heroes.
Yeah.
But the Lina here is a
Radiant
pretty
team
solid pick.
pick.
Oh, no? Okay. Quap then? If you're banning the Lina, usually means Quap.
Dire
Hopefully
team
they didn't just hopefully they didn't want to pick the Lina and it accidentally banned it, but I guess not. Yes, the Necrophos came
It
out.
was the banning phase the whole time? God.
It happened to me once in like a Battle Cat game or something. That was very awkward.
I'm not surprised. It happens to a lot of people. I feel like a pro team has done that before. They just haven't told people. They're like, it's part of the strat, I swear. It was the perfect ban. The perfect pick as well.
10 seconds
Who was it that
remaining.
random Alchemist? Wasn't it EG at some point?
As the last
5
pick.
seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
Yeah, I feel like someone random Alchemist at some point.
Yeah, I know you talk about. Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple people have like random. I remember EE in a game random their last pick and like screw it, we'll play with it.
Yeah.
Like it's just fair. Necrophos pick, interesting. They have no magical damage for him. I mean, Abaddon deals a bit, but that's So Necrophos is kind of god here. Like, there's not really many ways you can deal with him, and the Reaper Scythe is a fantastic way to bring the Wraith King down the second time. So that's very important. You also add a bit of sustain, which you were kind of lacking in this team. I think okay, it's a bit unorthodox lineup exclamation mark, but they have much stronger lanes than last time this time.
For sure, yeah. As I said, the Necros, it was a really good last pick for sure. So Adriot, they need to pick up a Necrophos killer right now. One of the big ones would be Pugna perhaps, but there's a bit of danger with the Batrider, the Doom as well.
Quap's alright against him. You could go for the Arc Warden. Sorry. Yeah, I mean he's really good actually in lane. Cool. Very underestimated.
Or what, Puck maybe?
Yeah, Puck is not bad. Not played mid very often nowadays though.
Yeah, would be really good together with. Oh, that works. That works.
Okay, so Shadow Fiend's a bit difficult against Necrophos because he can really mess up your last hits early. So Shadow Fiend against Necrophos depends a lot on the early game, and if you're able to get the last hits and get the souls right. Well, I mean that's obviously any matchup, but like with Necrophos particularly. He's not a hero that can actually get denies against you. He's a hero that kind of heals the creeps. And you're like, oh, what? Okay. and then you mess up your last hits a lot. And Shadow Fiend's attack animation not the best in the early game, so you kind of get screwed there. But the raises can be very powerful against the Ghost Shot. However, they do each give a magic stick charge, so that should be noted because that's a lot of healing for Necrophos. I don't
know. It's Whelp picking up the Necrophos though, which would leave JG on the Batrider. It was a question I wanted to ask earlier, like with the Doom on the field, how are they actually going to run these lanes?
Okay,
and now putting a Leo on the Doom, that's yet another step, yet another configuration that I hadn't even considered in my head. So this is certainly a lot more interesting here.
Actually, this is a pretty good call because you don't want to, like you were mentioning, you don't want to go Batrider versus Abaddon because you might as well not exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so, hey, what is the one lane that Abba doesn't want to be in? It's a mid lane, so...
Exactly, yeah.
That makes
and the Shadow Fiend doesn't do well against Bat whatsoever because you absolutely just send him out of the lane in the beginning, so he can't, like... It's hard to last it against Necrophos because he heals your creeps, but imagine lasting it against Batrider who's taking away 200 HP in the first minute.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. You're also stuck with Sticky Napalm. Shadow Fiend has one of the worst turn rates in the game as well, so having Batrider Sticky Napalm you is like... watching a slow motion movie.
Yeah, there's not too much space to actually run you down with Firefly, but in certain situations, if you're a little bit too far ahead, that can still be enough. Maybe Batrider also goes for the Flame Break, which can also do a lot of damage.
We have seen some Flame Break builds for mid Batters, like going for Sticky Napalm, and then like we've seen like two 2/1s, for example, getting a couple points of Sticky Napalm, then using the Flame Break to harass, and then 1 point of Firefly because you need the Firefly.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility. We'll see how that works out.
It's Illidan on the Bane. Look at that.
Wow. Move to CIS. That was very quick, man.
Not the real Illidan, I'm thinking.
No, just Boombacks instead. Yeah. I think at this point probably equally as well-known players, right? Because Boombacks has been in the scene for a very long time.
The high-fiving with the courier. Did you see that?
Can they do that? Oh, right, okay, because the monkey.
With the monkey.
I was very confused there for a second. I was like, I didn't know you could put the high five with the courier. Aw, there's love here for Noya as well.
Take a knee, peasant, and then he says Noya. I'm not sure if that was love. As much as it was a bit of a...
He did say, I'll help my weak and puny allies where I can. You know, like to start off with, so I don't know. Yeah, creating a really nice atmosphere in this game. As always, respectful. Nice.
I kind of want to level up Wraith King just to have these voice lines available. Don't really play them all too often.
I only level up heroes that have voice lines that will trigger my enemies, like Pangolier. Genuinely, every time I hear his voice. Scarith Mage as well. Those two guys are my go-tos now. I don't even like Scarith. I hate playing that hero, but like, just for the voice lines.
That's why I like the Spectre, because even on silver level, you have two voice lines that are just squarely aimed at the enemy. One is just simply wrong. The Spectre saying wrong. Yeah. And the other one is even better. It's like, I do not understand. It's like the upgraded question mark, right? But back to the game at hand, as there's unfortunately no Spectre in this one. But there is a Monkey King who was able to sneak a bounty rune, so... 3-4-1 exchange when all is said and done. We do have this Necrophos in the offlane.
I love this
the
new
lane's
TI carry,
shaping
by
up.
the way. I just want to point out. I think it's the cutest thing in the world. It's like a little juggernaut riding on a bug.
Yeah.
I know. It's adorable. Beautiful. Thank you, Valve, for letting this happen. So look at the lane composition now. We are going to see Necrophos versus Monkey King. Usually an okay matchup for Necrophos because of the Ghost Shroud. If he does get the help from the Doom. It was the matchup we were talking about. And look at Shadow Fiend. He's just so far away from the creep. He actually went for level 1 Razor.
Yeah.
Wow. So
That's
he
how you know
knows.
that, alright, I don't want to actually contest the Bad Rider at level 1 even.
That's actually, I think, the right build. He's getting a good amount of lasses with that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's not getting any souls, but it's fine. He's got a mana, though, already. But the magic stick allows you to recover mana pretty nicely.
Well, top lane Whelp. I think he's actually a bit of trouble here. One more click for Jingu. All of them are level 1, so he has to rely on his juking power, but I think this is going to be the first blood here, and it is. Natsumi just straight up runs him down with Jingu.
That was unfortunate. The creeps are like, "We'll help you, master!" And then they just absolutely murdered Whelp. That was, yeah, okay, level 1 is very difficult for Necrophos versus Monkey King matchup, because your level 1 is garbage, and you really need to go Shroud to be able to withstand him. The Doom should have been helping him a bit more. I know he was creep skipping there, but leaving Whelp alone in lane is just not an option here.
Aaliyah was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my own levels, thank you very much.
Yeah, it seems like Aaliyah is actually playing the offlaner here just because he's last in there and Whelp was kind of been left alone, but you can't have a support Necrophos. So.
I think he misplayed a little bit, like he only now started to put points into things, like he didn't use Devour for first creep. Like he would have had enough time for sure to get a lane creep in. But I don't know, it's a bit weird.
It is a bit weird. Hopefully Whelp doesn't get too harassed this lane, because otherwise Natsuma's going to have the easiest lane of his life, but there it is, Aaliyah. I think the build actually against Monkey King as well, and the Scorched Earth build, which is so common nowadays, is that you have to go for the Inferno Blade. It's too strong against Monkey King to forego it.
Well, maybe it's just a value point in Scorched Earth for now.
No, I can see this. It's going to happen, so 1 through 1.
Probably.
I can see in his face. I've been seeing their faces before. Yeah, it's a good build. Like, it deals more DPS, someone calculated because of the movement speed, right? Similar to how you used to get Sprint on Slaughter over the Bash, because you knew that Sprint was better, because it gave you more DPS. But against a Monkey King, Necrophos is going to have a really tough time to begin with, so I don't know.
Oh well, we'll see how that lane develops.
I wonder how early he'll get his Ghost Shroud as well. That's another big point of contention. Some people get level 4 as the most common, but some people get level 3 just to make sure the Monkey can't kill you early.
Yeah. Umi actually had to rotate mid to help out the Shadow Fiend for a little bit. JG is playing a little bit aggressively, but now it does mean that Natsumi cannot really directly contest as much as he wants to, but he's still hitting creeps under the tower. So.
Max doing a really good job though, I will say. Like, he's been playing on point here. Like, he's gotten 15 last hits to 16. That's just enough. And now he's actually okay. Talk about playing well. JG burning him to death.
Oh,
he missed that.
Stacks. That's a kill. JG, does he have a self? He doesn't need, so he can survive the tower.
He used the Fairy Fire there as well to make sure he survived the last hit. Well played.
Just before that, we saw Abba actually messing up super hard. Like he was trying to deny himself with a miscall on neutral creeps, but he didn't do enough self damage, so he actually got the neutral creep denied. So he was dead for so long. That's like what, 20-second difference.
Yep. That is huge, actually. That's a very good point. Especially as a batter, like the one hero that can deny some neutrals. That's unfortunate. I didn't see that, but I'm glad you caught that with the camera. Shame the players. It's the only thing we're using. Wraithing.
Yeah.
Very different to what we saw last game, right?
He has so much right click damage. Like even Wraith King, he's pretty good himself. On PL, I feel like your attack animation is a little bit better.
I agree. And you have obviously the help from Phantom Rush, right? That extra agility makes the matchup unfair. Okay, Buck, you should see those shackles, and he's like, no, but I want the last hit. That's my concern here.
Honestly, last hits are more important in the first 5 minutes.
I agree. Like it's. If you talk to a lot of players, they'll say that they much rather send the player back to base, you know, and force him to like TP back and then come back in, than killing them straight up. Because like it's really the fact that they're not in lane for a while that is annoying, more than anything.
Well, that's actually in a bit of trouble. He doesn't have that value point, which means he's just dead right now. He was super low already, like he was getting close, but then he was super greedy, just still hanging around the general area.
AJG's running for them though. Boombacks, yeah, lassoed up. I think that's worth it. It's your first lasso, but yeah, whatever.
Got the counter, they also got the 3 ban runes earlier, so it's fine. Down bottom, Noya, okay, he's gonna die. Bok in turn, super freaking low, gets a bit of heal back and forth, but he eats through the trees. A little bit more damage, though, does have another Phantom Rush, but it's already too late. Especially with Boomy coming in, like, T, he might actually be in trouble, but no, Doppelganger. Gonna have to rely on his own 2 feet. The stun will connect, though. Another couple of nukes, the right clicks, the Nightmare actually, what, preventing them from following up immediately, but the explosion is the one. He gets the kill, boy. CML super low on his Ella.
Well, that is just, yeah. That's unfortunate. You were doing quite well. Really good rotation there, Boomy. But in the top lane, they're actually planning to use the rotation for some damage. That's Sumi, the target. And you see Scorched Earth Field, but with a Valley Point Inferno Blade working really nicely. They missed the stomp, but they do get that Sumi regardless. Good job. Getting a kill there on the Monkey King is quite valuable, and you make it so that the rotation there down bottom was punished.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we should be doing, ideally.
So important, man, just to have, to make trades, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Just realize, hey, Boomy's down here, which means Natsumi is alone. Which means that he's actually very vulnerable on this Monkey King if he doesn't get a quick jump into the trees or something.
Seems like a very stupid, like, you know, thing to say, but it is like a very important thing in Dota. A lot of people forget completely. Like, there's a rotation. Okay, there's a lane that has to, you know, have a deficit, I guess. Yeah. Especially if the rotation requires a TP, because that means that the supports cannot TP back in. So, very, very well played there.
Just
and
recognizing that you have an opportunity to get something without being punished.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all about Dota. How much can I get away with that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Dota's about.
Well. Batrider, I'm to try and stabilize his bottom lane somewhat, but they've scouted him. We have also a good position for the Dire.
The Bat here in the stayed for quite a while in the bottom lane. He's trying to create some space, but because of this, he's actually left Mac alone, and he's been allowed to recover. We've seen this build. Oh wait, in top lane. That's Sumi.
Doing it again.
Yep, that
should be it. Ooh. Boomy. I think he must have been winding up for the Nightmare, but he didn't quite have enough time to get it off.
I love that Boomy was just looking at him like, what were you expecting? Oh, man. You did.
I could have saved you, but I didn't want to. I want all this lane to myself.
Get all that solo experience, get those last hits. If you look at the bottom lane, there's going to be another rotation here. I think they're starting to put a bit of pressure against the PL, and again, the batter comes in immediately. Trying to create that space. He does come with Invis this time, though. That's
ooh, now the Hex box under the tower, actually. Plenty of creeps to tank it up, but now the lasso. Keeping him in place, and that will be a quick kill. Oh, what the hell? Ah, no. Did finish him off now. Yes, he did put a point into the ultimate, though, with rotation from Natsumi. Looking to try and turn as he follow-up stun on the Phantom Lancer. He's actually going to die first. JG out of spells now. Oh my god, this is harking back to last game, where he just doesn't die as quickly. Comes back and turns things around. JG still in trouble, actually. Still running him all the way down. Back even saying hello. Can he even get him here? That's another firefight and missed the Boundless Strike. Alright.
Well played, he says. Okay.
Space equals created, I guess.
So that was actually a very interesting matchup, because you have both teams kind of tunnel visioning, but one team understood the team fight a bit better than the other. In this case, it was obviously Adroit. Because Adroit knew that the Wraith King knew how much experience he had. For some reason, Exclamation Mark was not really aware of this. He was really close to his level 6, so they knew that if they got a kill on Shadow Shaman, he would get his level 6, therefore the Incarnation. And he was level 5 when the team fight started, but level 6 when it ended because of that, specifically. Yeah. So they concentrated all their efforts on killing the Shadow Shaman, exactly as they should have. And he wasn't concerned, right? No, he was like, well, I'll trade for the Wraith King, no big deal. However, you're not trading for the Wraith King, you're trading for his reincarnation, because you're giving him experience. So that was much better play by Adroit, much more aware of the circumstance in the team fight. And yeah, just honestly, again, I feel like they're outplaying a bit with his Wraith King. They know how to play the Wraith King, and it seems like Exclamation Mark is not fully aware of certain things, specifically the power peaks the Wraith King faces.
Yep. It's like they're underestimating his tankiness, if nothing else. And just taking a little bit too long to finish him off, and then at that point they're in a bad position, and the rest of Adroit has plenty of time to get in a position to turn the fight around. Use their own spells, but at the very least they did get the trade up top, finish the tier 1 tower. So well, once again doing very well. At least in this game he's not the only one, JG, despite everything. Especially with that him surviving down there, holding onto his network fleet, which is quite sizable actually.
It's true. And this time you also have a much carry that gets online much sooner, which is Phantom Lancer, right? So you don't have the fear of, okay, we've just lost the first 5 minutes. Morphing's gonna be useful for the next 30, so we need something to help us out. This time you have a Phantom Lancer that, as soon as he gets the Visual Blade, it's already pretty useful. And we're not really sure what build Monkey King's gonna go for just yet to counter that. So it's still an open game, definitely for Exclamation Mark. That small kill in the bottom lane is not that big a deal this time. Middle lane though, better is looking for blood.
GG is very fast, but can't really go on Boomy without him being able to get a Nightmare off, so just drawing some lines in the sand with the fire and dropping the wards in mid, but that means that they're gonna have to fight here. Bok, alright, he got bamboozled, as they say.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
With some stun on the but only feeding away these wards, unfortunately.
But
Not actually getting to win last hits though, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's still
I was
alright,
noticing that. That was depressing, because usually Serpent Wards, is just, to me, it just looks like gold. It's just cha-ching, right? And then you see them miss almost every single one of them.
Could be very hard with the creeps there.
It is hard with the creeps, but still, come on, Bo. You're a professional player. Creeps should not be beating you in terms of last hitting. No, all jokes aside, Buck is fine. He's an off-lane Wraith King. He doesn't need as much gold as he needed last game, so I think he's not too concerned with that either.
Yeah.
And Monkey King will be going for the Echo Saber build. Not Battle Fury yet, so interesting, actually. Against a PL particularly. I was expecting a Battle Fury.
Well, that is interesting, yeah.
Yep.
Not even Diffusal Blade or anything. Like Echo Saber is more utility than it is damage, I feel like, with the ultimate. Slowing people down constantly.
Yeah. You guarantee the Jingle Mastery to some degree, right?
Yeah.
And I guess there's two variations of Monkey King essentially that everyone plays, which is the like you mentioned, the utility or space grading variation, which is the Echo Saber one, right? And then you have the Battle Fury, which is the more traditional carry variation. Battle Fury has been a bit phased out nowadays because it's just not that useful. It's been kind of nerfed. But against a PL, I think it just brings it back. Like, there's always a reason to get it. Even a Maelstrom, like maybe even a Maelstrom would have been a better option. Just to deal with the illusions. Don't underestimate the PL. He's going to be a real threat as the game goes forward. Especially with the Shadow Fiend going for Guardian Greaves, and therefore lacking the area damage that you need in someone. So nobody's going to deal damage in your team. Like, Wraith King's going to have a Blink Dagger, so no damage for him. No damage for the Monkey King, because he needs that area damage. And no damage for Wraith King, because he went for Guardian Greaves. So.
Speaking of Wraith King, Bok is very deep. He does have his ultimate to rely on. But his first life will be burned through rather quickly. There's some help coming. Everyone's tipping in one by one though, Boomy. Okay, there's Doom. This time in a decent position, perhaps with a Nightmare. Slowing things down quite a bit. Bit of heals or shields coming through from CML, but Neuer also saying hello. That's up to Serpent Wolf. Drops it down in the middle of the fight here. Mac trying to slow them down, finds the raises onto Doom. They're still just trying to focus on his Wave King, but they once again do not have enough. Can we just change the station at some point? We keep seeing the same thing.
Yeah. So, the area what happened, right, it was really well played. Like you mentioned, the Serpent Wards were fantastic in the middle of that team fight. It really, mechanically they played that well, but I don't think they understand their power peaks too much. If they're playing with the Phantom Lancer, still doesn't have Diffusal Blade. That's his power peak, right? Yeah. When he has Diffusal Blade, he's strong. Before that, he's weak. Don't attack the Wraith King while he has Reincarnation. He has one of the strongest power peaks. It's a very simplistic equation, really. Especially with the Abaddon. Abaddon's early healing is oppressive. It's ridiculous. He actually only went for 2 points of Miscoil, which is not the common build whatsoever, because he'd rather get that Aphotic Shield cooldown reduction. And that means that he has constantly a way to dispel whatever you're throwing at him. Yep. It's very difficult to get a kill here. I mean, especially on the Wraith King. Of all players, he's not even the carry anymore. Don't go for the Wraith King.
Does it with the blink though, comes in, Faints Grip, ult's coming out on Necrophos. If he can get a skill initially, that would be good. Well, but I cannot heal himself up enough. So we'll finish him. Can they get any sort of trades is the big question. Nightmare on Aaliyah as the die gets in position, in formation. And exclamation marks, they don't find an angle.
That Chaco just took away a bit too long. I'm sorry, that Fiend's Grip lasted longer than it should have. And I mean, it was a really, really good position by Boomback still. Like, nobody expects the Bane to be right next to your tower. Like, oh, hello.
Ooh, TP cancel up top. Natsumi finds a bounce strike. Okay. Can go into Nightmare. No Fiend's Grip anything to follow up, but Mac sort of a few raises. He does have a doppelganger level 1, but it's only going to delay the inevitable for like half a second. Really good catch from the Monkey King.
Yeah, and you're slowing down the Phantom Lancers, like I mentioned, still doesn't have his Diffusal Blade. Like that's quite huge, actually, because you essentially get full leeway with this. Red King is actually allowed to go for a Midas, which is crazy, because that actually makes him a more reliable carry in the late game. You have a Shadow Fiend already built up a mech, and even you get an Ether Lens on the Bane, because Boom Backs is the greediest support I've ever seen. So why build 4-star Glimmer Cape when you can just build the Ether Lens instead? And now there's actually a force to reckon. Yeah.
I think I see it a lot on Banes though, like just having extra range on the Fiend's good, Nightmare and everything.
It is a really good item on a Bane. I won't say that. Like I'm not. It is a greedy item, but I think it's totally justified this time. It's not like the Lion Axe, but the Nightmare now becomes a really big threat, and Batrider is not going to be able to catch anyone. He hasn't even had Blink Dagger. Finally got it, but he needs the Force Staff still to be able to blink in, lasso, force tap himself away from the Nightmare range.
Yeah.
Because as it stands, they're just going to Nightmare him every single time he goes in. So good luck being Batrider here.
Away from Nightmare, away from the Abba too. I mean, let's not forget about the Neuphoric Shield.
Yeah.
Is a strong dispel.
Yeah, that's true, actually. So if you just Nightmare the Bat, you Euphoric Shield his target, and Bat all of a sudden realized that he just went in for nothing. Like, Bat might actually be committing suicide, like going blinking and lasso. It's a very difficult situation.
Well, Smoking Mid, they do find this Bane. It is a support, but at least it's something. Take him off the map for quite a while with that Scythe. First Scythe of the game that we've seen actually from Necrophilic, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so as well. At least for a successful one. Maybe he tried to decide something unimportant. But yeah, the Necrophil's there, I mean, hasn't had much impact, unfortunately. The fact that you have to go off lane is not ideal. He went for a bit of a mid-game build with 2 cheap items, the 4-staff Veil Discord. I think that's the right choice, honestly, because you need the space. But you just don't have much impact right now. They need the T-Heat damage to come in, so you can actually take team fights right now.
JG finds the Monkey King! Breaks a tray. But there's no damage, and Natsumi just drops in that ultimate. He finally showing up. Still without a defusal blade, but even inside that Monkey King ult. Turns out that's still enough damage, actually. Alright.
And you also have the Monkey King is going for the Maelstrom, like I mentioned earlier, so he is going to try to deal with the illusions in a different way. I agree with that.
That works. That works for sure.
Yeah. Greaves on the Shadow Fiend now. This is a huge turning point. Like, this makes the team so tanky right now.
Scan scouts them out though, they know that something is here, and there's that ultimate on the real Phantom Lancer, but the Doom comes through on the Bane, it just won him. But hey, Aliyah, well, we found a few more people than we're really comfortable with, so they use that ultimate, they lose the Doom, more ways than one, but it's probably the better idea to get away from there, rather than try and commit.
It's interesting there because we were casters, right? We have better information there, and we knew that actually Adroit was never going for the Phantom Lancer in the first place, right? So that Doom was actually completely wasted. The Shadow Fiend was preparing his Requiem of Souls, just ready for that to happen. So what actually happened there was that you used the Doom when you could use the Infernal Blade to cancel the same Fiend script, and it would have been fine because you were sacrificing yourself, and you lose the Doom in the process. It's unfortunate. I think Adroit is actually playing a bit better right now. They're really toying with exclamation marks. Team.
On the other hand, I mean, using the Doom just gives you an extra second or so where the PL is looking good. Well, for now, well, oh god, look at this burst damage. He has to stop running away. Doesn't have a lot of fields and actually dies to a nuke there. There's Neuer in the middle of that. Next one on the list. They have some really good target fight. Lasso comes through on Shadow Fiend. But he should be absolutely fine, especially with CML still alive in the backline. Zalia in the middle there. Can't really do too much on this Doom. Now Nightmare up. At least he trying to throw in some extra damage with the Diffusal Blade and starting to make an impact here. JT also still alive, spreading fire everywhere he goes. Mac looks like he's gonna die, but shields everywhere. Keeping him alive for the time being, but he's not done yet. Stand up though with another jump in. Natsumi shows up, and there's finally the burst damage. They missed the bounce strike, but they will still be able to find him as there's no place to juke.
I want to see, honestly, for this game after, because you have Dota Plus, right?
Yeah.
Can we actually check the stats for how much damage the Mistcoil is doing in these team fights? Because he's on point.
Sure, yeah, I mean, he nuked the Necrophos with that, I think.
Yep. Also the Phantom Lancer.
That's it, yeah. This is absolutely crazy, and it looked for a moment like Exclamation Mark was able to turn us around. But the sustain was just too much, even just from the Guardian Greaves and the Abba. And they don't really have any burst damage. Like, if you actually think about this lineup, they don't have burst damage, they have a lot of damage over time. But it's not really all that valuable now, is it?
No, it really isn't. It's just a bit late. Just lost a team fight, lost the objectives as well there. Like, it was not Again, it's Adriot designing the tempo of the game, and it's really difficult to play this way, where you kind of are at the mercy of a team who's saying when and what to do. Like, you're only able to respond, but your counter initiation is not particularly your strong suit either, as Exclamation Mark is more looking for, you know, them doing the initiations of the Battle Rider Doom and the Necrophos. It just doesn't fit your team. Like, Adriot is managing to stop your strategy completely. I don't know. It's a very difficult game right now for Exclamation Mark, because they need the farm on the Phantom Lancer right now, but he's still a bit off. They need to create some space for him, but they're not able to whatsoever. That went for the best build possible for this game, and now finally finishing up the 4 stuff. That might be a bit of a change then, hopefully. So we'll see.
The thing that changes is that gives you more options of getting pickoffs, but I feel like that's the only way that they can actually take any sort of engagement. But if they get gone on like this, feed script straight up on Noya there.
Noya has also been a target in all these team fights. I feel like Noya's lack of farm is showing. So usually you have Blink or even Ethernet, so you can actually not be in the middle of the team fight, but he's always in the middle of the fray. Yeah. They always concentrate on him as soon as they get him. And he's the catch they have. You know, the Doom has no catch. He's really just the Doom. So once you get rid of the Shadow Shaman, you have no way of stopping the enemy team just literally running you over.
Yeah. I think Adriot is they're playing this very well as well. Just not they're really making the most out of the drafts in comparison to what Exclamation Mark has to offer. They're playing their own game because they are forcing, or the engagements that they're forcing, a full 5-on-5 brawls, where all of this sustain that they have, talked about that before, really comes into play, but also the lack of big AoE crowd controller damage on the side of Exclamation Mark. Right, you have single target Lasso, single target Doom, Phantom Lancer, single target for the most part as well. Same for the Necrophos, same for the Shadow Shaman really. At least when it comes to this lockdown. So it's like, it's really hard for them to take the team fights in a way without having these big team fight ultimates that we see in a lot of games these days. No Darkseers, no Tidehunters, Sand Kings, Earthshakers. Then Adriot, I mean, they can just run in, they are tanky. They have some AoE.
Oh, there's the last they're looking for. Well, again, useless. When your whole initiation is dispelled by a single Phonic Shield, man, like, it's just a really tall order to be able to engage these team fights. And look at Shadow Fiend literally flying like a Naruto character.
Oh, that was a long TP!
Oh, did he TP to the same spot? Oh, that's so unfortunate.
His friend got out, but he was left behind.
But he's the more important one there, by far.
These kind of things, it just compounds the issues even more, right? These small little missteps.
It's because you're stretching out, right? Like, you're quite nervous. You're thinking, oh no, the best of ones. D-Drop keeps telling me the best of ones are death. I'm so scared. You know, I get it though. Like, you're in the winners bracket. You come in as probably the better known team, or maybe the favorites to some degree. And the enemy team is just rolling you over, especially with the same hero twice, and you seem unable to deal with the Wraith King. You specifically picked the Phantom Lancer to deal with him, and you can't. Okay, they're gonna kill on Boomy in the middle lane though. This is pretty okay.
They doomed the Bane and they still take 3-4 seconds to kill him off.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend's coming from behind. They want to turn this into a team fight, actually.
Indeed, as well, with a buyback even coming through. Aaliyah is way too deep. The Nightmare actually holds a Battle Rider on play. He's into the Fiend. It's good. They want to finish JG off first, and they will have no issues whatsoever. Meanwhile, Wraith King got a free kill on Noya. I don't know what he was doing there.
I will say, man, I love Noya. I love him as a person, a player, but his position in this game has been less than ideal. He has been too easy to kill. He's been cannon fodder. He's been playing that sacrificial support that we're talking about, but too much, you know?
Shadow Shaman doesn't feel like it's right here.
Positioning, make sure that you stay and at least get a Shackles up. Like, I've not seen a Shackles this game that's lasted more than 1 second.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Shackles 1 second. Oh, am I killed already? Okay, well, there. And the only catch the team has that's really catch. It's more of a killing skill.
Yeah.
And Lasso is the worst against the Abaddon. So you essentially have a hero that's so because the cores have stuns, they're much more spread around. They have much more teamfight on these cores, and allow the Bane to Fiend Script if he needs to or not. It's fine. The Garden Greaves gives you a lot of sustain. So does the Abaddon. Shadow Shaman has no help from anyone except for Necropulse's like puny Reaper or Death Pulses. Well, this time they got him. Look at that 4-step working out. But
Even full health because there's so many heals. Boomy, defensive nightmare buying himself some extra time. Shaman Wards being dropped down. They'll finally be able to kill him. Also burn through the mana on Bok. So no reincarnation for this one. See it too much off right now. I mean, the ultimate comes Wukong's command will force a defensive 4-star.
a lot for a Bane kill, right? They got the Wraith King for free, I guess there. But right, I mean, Radiance on a Wraith King that's off lane with a Blink Dagger Midas is not bad at all.
Yeah.
No. May 26. It's quite a nice time. Right now, that team fight was okay for the whole game because the enemy team will punish you, and Monkey King wasn't there, right? If Matsumi was there, that would have been a whole different team fight.
Definitely used very early here. They don't have a lasso for Mac. They do have the War Stomp in. Oh, Guarding Greaves. They don't have a little bit longer. Jason Lee has to take out the front line, but Mac, he's just... Oh, they should have used the Doom there.
Well, he had an Aegis, right? So I guess.
Oh, I guess, yeah, okay. That's right.
I guess, you know what, I understood the point, like, they wanted to kill him twice, but then they realized we can't even kill him once. What do we do? It was... Yeah, that was hard to see, man. Look, amazing item, honestly. That's why every single mid player picks him. But when you go down so low, the extra armor and extra healing it gives you is ridiculous. You stay so well. So what you want to do, ideally, against a Guardian is play a bit differently. And you're going to burst him down once he's low on HP. And so save your spells for then. But unfortunately, you don't have two heroes that have burst. Bat Rider and Doom are both sustained damage, which means Guardian Greaves are great against him.
On the Monkey King top lane, Blink Lasso. No counterplay this time. CML too late. So one thing, at least they didn't get punished in that bottom lane. So, and they're starting to make plays. They're starting to actually play their game. This is something that Adriot needs to stop to let happen pretty much immediately. Else they'll actually start to fall behind sooner rather than later. The stronger this Phantom Lancer gets.
Well, I like at least that they're running the double core strategy with Wraith King becoming more of a carry rather than initiator. I think it's a necessity if you're playing this way when you're up against the Phantom Lancer is quite scary. But actually, Boomy's looking for a Fiend Script middle, I think. Yeah, long range Fiend Script without Enfeeble. Fiend Script for years.
Yep. What's that? 8 seconds something?
Yeah, you have time to call your mother. You know, you have children. Fiend Script forever.
Mac was playing a bit scared actually. Like didn't really ultra commit. The exclamation mark still hanging around top, forcing a few TPs. But Serpent Ward's still gonna be able to do a decent amount of damage here too.
Yeah, I think so, alright, but they do give a bit of gold today as well, which we'll certainly appreciate that. Because of course Boomy's going for a BKB as a second night.
Oh god.
I love this player. I really, really love him.
It's so weird though, because there's still like 3 spells theoretically that could cancel that. BKB.
Yeah, Lasso, Reaper Scythe, and Doom. But then you're wasting a Lasso, Reaper Scythe, and Doom on a Bane. Then
yeah,
again, that's been pretty much the whole game, right? Just do everything on the Bane, kill
They've
Boomy.
already been doing that, so like, what's the difference, right?
Yeah, get a Linken's instead. Clearly that's what you need, man.
Oh well. I mean, I don't think it matters too much. I think they're gonna be fine either way. I don't think he needs any other items pressingly.
I like to see a Glimmer Cape, to be honest. You're up against a Necrophos. Like,
yeah.
There's never... A Glimmer Cape never goes bad. Doom is also a bit annoying. With a Glimmer Cape, you get to save one of your teammates. I think Glimmer is actually a better item here, but I can see the BKB. It forces the... So, Infernal Blade doesn't hit you, right? Doesn't stun you. The Shadow Shaman cannot get you the Hex. So, it forces a big spell to go on you, and that's... I see the point behind that. Like, you become a target that's too high value.
Well, closing in on that 30-minute mark. Would be a 2-for-2 bounty rune exchange. All is said and done.
And we'll see. I mean, 30 minutes in, and we have Adroit still winning by 7k, but not that considerable difference anymore. The Phantom Lancer is much more farmed now. He has the Physical Blade and Montestal, close to getting his third item. This is the big item usually for Phantom Lancer. Scotty, Heart. No, these items would really pull him forward.
Yep.
Then this might change team fights around, because now it's going to be much harder to kill him. Shadow Fiend's damage just simply won't be enough. However, I like the hybrid build Matt goes for. So you go for the Guardian Gears and Montestal for full dispelling power, because there's a lot of damage over time. Great. And now you go for the butterflies for the actual damage. In addition to the fact that nobody in Exclamation Mark wants to get MKB because it's a garbage item on Phantom Lancer, so the butterfly is a really annoying item to deal with on top of the Radiance. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I really like the way that they're like adjusting the item builds to the rest of the team. Right? They're not all going one way. They're all just going different ways, part way, but it all adds up together, if that makes sense, right? So all of them have a good mix of like, alright, there's...
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean with that.
So like, what I mean is like, no one hero is just going all sustain, or all physical damage, or all magic damage, right? You have Shadow Fiend, he is a bit of everything. Monkey King is a bit of magic damage too, with the Maelstrom and whatnot.
I agree.
Okay, there's Doom coming through as the fight starts to break out. Moves comes in. Now that's a stun from Aaliyah, but there's no real follow-up. Well, keeps himself alive, but Doom is dead. And well, that ultimate not really doing too much. Shadow Fiend does literally not care. Leave there the Serpent Wards up in the top, trying to trade for at least a tier 3, but as the fight starts breaking out, Fiend script, but they don't quite have to follow up the Boundless Strike though. Finishes up Noy in the backlines as well. 4 staffed away. Bok is gonna lose his life. Maybe it does have the reincarnation to talent in this one. So will come back no matter what, but Mac is a bit of a different story. Noma Age is in his inventory. Packs on Wraith King. They really don't want to kill him right now, but I guess they don't have another choice. They'll bring him down first. Meanwhile, follow-up stun over on Abba. That ultimate has already been used. Meanwhile, the lasso, they're just spreading out on a couple of different targets, but they do finish up the Wraith King. They do finish off the Abba. And they did control up the Shadow Fiend long enough for him to still be in the danger zone. Mac trying to run, but I don't think even the Guardian Greaves will save him this time. How?
So the initiation there by Exclamation Mark was garbage. There's no other way to say it. That Doom was terrible. But afterwards, we see what I was talking about, like, the impact of the Phantom Lancer starting to become much more relevant now that he's an unkillable force of nature. And Whelp also has his own items. His rate percent is starting to be much more relevant. They managed to get much better positioning, and the Shadow Fiend just lacks the damage deal to base the TT right now. And TT with Ireivra, it just makes such a huge difference here. You have the help of your teammates. Noya had much better positioning in that team fight, much better. Was able to not die in the first 5 seconds, which is like a really huge thing in this game.
Oh, you still have to buy back, right? Same with Doom.
Yeah, obviously, like, but the next 5 seconds, sorry, the second team fight. I'm gonna give a bit of the benefit of the doubt.
The team fight, there's another one. T being gone by the 2, pops the BKB, pops the Wukongs, have to try and run away, but the Sun catches 3 different heroes, 4 stops galore. T is still alive. Leah, still alive too, so no dieback for him just yet. Trying nightmares back and forth, but just have to wait out the Wukongs now. If they can go back in again. T healed up once again with the heart, slowing down Boomy. He pops his BKB on the vein and runs away, so they hex up Natsumi instead. Higher value target if they can get him, but the shackles after the shields, but the core said, nah, you're on your own, we're doing objective-based gaming. Noya actually tanks the Fiend Scoop, still alive as Lasso finally cancels it, brings the Bane into the front, but Mac also there, TPing in, finally chasing an Exclamation Mark through like this. Another one of these super weird team fights that don't really make sense, that's maybe a little bit uncoordinated.
I will say there, I think Noya did the right thing. I think they should have actually followed up with that Shackles. He was waiting for the Photic Shield to come up. I don't know if there was a lack of communication, like he didn't tell his teammate that's what he was waiting for, but that's why there was no Shackles, right? Yeah. And you mentioned it properly. So when the Photic Shield comes up, he gets some really good Shackles on. They could have killed him. They could have totally killed him.
That was a good Shackle. That was just behind the Photic Shield, so he couldn't actually
exactly
Abba couldn't dispel it. So, but
and yeah, the Fusel Blade Purge was off as well, so if Abba does get a Photic Shield up afterwards or whatever, they can still purge him off, get the last bit of damage in. Like, it was a really good Shackles that they should have capitalized on. I think that they're playing at different levels in terms of how risky they're playing, and Noya's playing it quite risky here, and his team is not, because they're still trying to play defensively. Which is fair enough, but sometimes you need to take these.
If you want an example of miscommunication or teams having different ideas, then that's certainly it. But for now, looks like they're gonna walk away from each other. Because like the thing is with that play, there's no reason to expect it, right?
Radiant's top shrine.
Yeah.
Radiant's good,
Yes.
guys. So, because normally it's like, alright, I mean, it's just gonna get the spell. It's way too deep. Can't really go for it.
Top shrine has fallen.
So, yeah, unless you are on the same page and trust your teammates entirely, even though it might be a bad idea to go for it, even though it might not be the best play, you still go for it because the rest of the team's going for it too, right?
Like, this is the kind of thing where I would like to hear the comms for the team, because I think that, you know, I really would like to see that Noya make that call, that he say, hey, do this, guys. It's important. This is really important. Yeah, we'll see. There's Mjolnir coming up in Monkey King, by the way, which is gonna make these team fights a bit easier for them against the Phantom Lancer. He did go for the Primal Spring damage though, which is surprising, over the Boundless Strike crit. Not that common on a carry Monkey King, but okay.
Oh well. I mean, it does help you clear creep waves immediately, right?
It does the old line damage to Phantom Lancer, but it does mean that you rely on trees. So high ground defense becomes then much more difficult, and their own high grounds it's a bit difficult to get to as well, because you're essentially playing Timbersaw. So there's swings and roundabouts. The team fights around the map are easier though. You do get a more guaranteed source of damage. They did change it though now, so now it scales with the. So it used to be that like the minimum damage is 400. Now it scales, so it's not as powerful as it used to be.
Bottom line is Adriot did get lassoed now on a Bane, trying to finish him off first. Aliyah gets a Doom off before the Wukong's command, so that's good. The Cypher also actually on a BKB on Boom, not doing anything. As, well, Aliyah off to the back. Damage is being done to the Wraith King. They should be able to finish up the first life. So that is that. Doom, Monkey King still alive. This is some illusions. Trying to chase him down. They have to refocus on Bok. I see pops his own BKB. Finishing up Noya here. They did get a tier 3. Now the Fiend Script coming through on the Necrophos. So stop on 4 different people. T is in the middle. But can you do the damage? Illusion started to stack up, but the rest of his team started to fall one by one. Only get the Abaddon so far. He has to find another angle to come back in. Dota's that stun from Bok.
Again,
Noble effort, but again with the buybacks on both sides actually, that they really want to commit for this melee barracks. T ready to go again, but what can he really do here? Bok actually goes in on him. Follow-up stun from the Boundless here. Couple clicks from Natsumi. Forces out that follow-up. Bok does have another reincarnation. Came back off cooldown. Another lasso. That's how this fight started on the Bane. This time they get the skill, but T stunned up. Might have to buy back himself right here as well. Also in trouble. Does get a couple of spells off here with the Ghost Shot, keeping him alive. And maybe this is a little bit too deep. What the hell, Natsui? I don't know how that worked, but sure. He'll take it. T trying to run down more people. Mac just TPing out to definitely cancel it. They do not. T just says, I'm outie. So, Monkey King TP'd on the tree though. So JG was able to cancel that one by himself. A CML with no ultimate. He'll be very quick. Killless. They transfer over to the Monkey Kings. He's just man fighting up against JG, almost getting that kill in turn on his last breath. These are the kind of team fights that you were talking about when you're talking about the SEA region as a whole. I'm pretty sure that was crazy in a number of different ways.
Yeah, this is both good crazy, bad crazy. I don't even know. Like when you analyze that, you go, who won? Who was player? I don't know.
That's crazy. I think that would be the best way to put it. Actually.
Yeah, it was batch crazy. We saw exclamation mark there. Like I think there was a bit of miscommunication in the beginning of the team fight again, right? We have Noya essentially single-handedly dealing with the Wraith King, and that shouldn't happen, right? They should have been some help there. They divided the team fight, but they got kited instead by the Monkey King. However, the misplay there by Adriot allowed for exclamation mark to get back into the game. Yep. He's still a very relevant hero and very hard to kill. As long as he has team support, like, he should be fine, really.
Maybe use Illusion to take off the sleep, but now the Doom and the stun over on Shadow Fiend, and they snap him down with the scythe. That's just the Aegis though. Boomy, meanwhile, with his own BKB, not really protecting himself too much up against the physical damage until Boundless Strike, and Natsumi doesn't have his command available, so they need to get the hell out. So jumps in, slowing them down. T now with the Fiend Scope, forced off defensively here, but they're still right on top of him. They're gonna be able to bring him down, and that's a tieback, remember. And they're looking for more, Natsumi. Like to run down Noya, Hex into the TP. The stun from Wraith King will connect just in time, and then he just disappeared like a magic trick, you know?
Yep.
Next
He had to
moment he's
TP
not.
once he got to the high ground because the Monkey King was going to see him otherwise, so he couldn't juke in the trees. But it was just not possible. That was a huge blunder. Like I was saying, you need the team support, right, for Phantom Lancer to go well. Because the issue with playing 4 Protect 1 is as long as you have a bit of catch, which you do, obviously, it's called Bane. He's the bane of your existence, pun intended. Their exclamation mark needs to save the Phantom Lancer as soon as he gets Fiend's Grip, but there's just no way. The Shadow Shaman is so far back.
Yep.
And the lack of items on the Shadow Shaman, which is not really his fault, much as it's just the game, has made it really difficult. Like, you need the Shadow Shaman, or at least the Doom, to be backline, able to stop the Fiend's Grip whenever it happens. But you can't, right? Because if you do go that close, like Noya has been experimenting the whole game, you die. So, what do you do against Adroit? I don't know, man. I think this might be... this could easily turn into a game.
So 55 seconds without a Phantom Lancer, and they know about this too. They find a stun over Necrophos, nothing lasts. So, they keep trying to catch this Bane, but they just don't have any way to kill him off. He's just so tanky. This is gonna be the last set of racks. A blink, another stun, just keep him away. Always not to go for it, I guess. Yeah, Whelp on the front line, trying to do whatever he can. There's a bit of a hex, there's a bit of... Yeah, the AoE damage starting to stack up here. Box getting kind of low, CML as well with the ultimate popped. But losing these tier 4 so freaking fast. The building damage is real, as they're just gonna go for it. Dropping that Vulcan scan on the Ancient, and there's no saving it. So GG has to be called. So Adriot, like, both teams made mistakes. Both teams were kind of overextending, like, in turns, but Adriot were able to get just too much out of it, forcing buybacks, still getting racks even though a bunch of them got killed on the way out.
I think the main difference there, I think, to me, was the communication. There's a big communication deficit coming from exclamation mark. Adroit did not have that as much. Their mistakes were much more individual, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and no, but okay. But the team did work well together, and they were all on the same page, even if that page was the wrong one sometimes, right? Which is why they either died altogether or they lived altogether. On top of that, excellent play by Boombacks. Like, you can't emphasize that enough. You know, he played absolutely amazingly.
Yep.
So... yeah, and I look at the missed core damage, by the way, is ridiculous. I was just looking at it now. Wow. It's almost as much as a Photic Shield, and a Photic Shield is AoE, so that's crazy.
4.5k, not bad at all.
No, better than my MR, so no, that's... well.
Same. But yeah, that was, was the first series of the day, exclamation mark. Not really showing up today, like, you gotta just say it like this, right? The gears didn't really turn in unison.
No.
Even though
they picked harder drafts as well. Like, yeah, I think their draft was hard to execute.
It was a little bit better in game 2. They also had a little bit better lanes, but ultimately it was... yeah, this would have worked better if they didn't make these mistakes in the early parts of the game, right? Because JG on a Batrider, he was in a good spot. Like, he was trying to make space, but they were choosing the wrong targets time and time again. On this Wraith King here, that was the big one, right? Just trying to kill off the Wraith King. They did it once. But then he came back, the rest of his team comes in, you lose the team fight. And all of the advantage that you got from laning stage was slowly faded away.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're going to see exclamation mark have to duke it out in the best of ones, but at least it's not the only game of the day, right, Drag and Drop?
No, indeed it is not. There's 3 more best of 3s on the docket for the day. The next one's scheduled to start in about 50 minutes from now. There'll be Alpha Red versus Buriram United. Apparently a team of a football club. Another one of those. Exciting. Yeah, absolutely. Alfred, though, I didn't actually look at the players, so I'll reserve judgment on that for now. After that, we'll got 7 Seeds versus Signal Ultra. And Cypher Gaming versus Team Poseidon. So do stay tuned, or tune back in 50 minutes' time. But for now, we're going to take a short break. Goodbye.
XBetZO is the hottest destination for esports betting, offering a wide range of top esports events and betting options. Access the highest odds in esports. Live odds are open until the very end of the match. Do you have any questions or queries? The XBet's customer support team is available 24/7 and is ready to help you. All players enjoy huge bonuses, amazing... XBetZO is the hottest destination for esports betting, offering a wide range of top esports events and betting options. Access the highest odds in esports. Live odds are open until the very end of the match. Do you have any questions or queries? The XBet's customer support team is available 24/7 and is ready to help you. All players enjoys huge bonuses, amazing promotions, and winning jackpots. With the best casino games, virtual sports, and exciting slots, Exclamation is the home of live esports betting.